Alright, how's it going, everybody? My name is Infamous Isaac, and I'm here with a video on My Hero Academia Season 6. It recently just finished, as in, like, literally today, this Saturday that I'm recording this. And it it was 25 episodes. I thought it was gonna be, like, the usual 26. But nah, yeah, it finished at a pretty, like, round number, I guess, if that's how I would describe it. But this season has been going on since October, and My Hero has been on this trend ever since, like, well, ever since it started, where it tries to release episodes or seasons like almost bi-yearly, or not bi-yearly, like every 2 years around there, like 2 years being the limit, where they'll release like a season, like let's say 2021, like early 2021, and then they'll release the next season like late 2022. So a year and a half would pass, and it's consistent. It is consistent, but in some cases the animation will suffer in that sense. Not in terms of like, oh, the animation is terrible, it's unbearable, you can barely watch it. No, it's just it's consistent, and that means that you don't get bad quality. It's just that you don't get great quality, and because of that, scenes that like people in the manga are like, oh, yo, this thing should be crazy, it should look amazing, they usually just get consistent but not amazing animation from it because of that. Because look at it like this, right? It's like Boruto, how they had their thing going on where they were doing manga canon for a little bit, and that manga canon usually has better animation than the rest of the show. Usually, except for this case where it's okay animation when it wants to be, but when it's great animation, it's amazing animation. But then after that, when the manga canon is done and they go back to filler and anime canon, it's subpar at best, right? Or at worst. At best, it's just okay, consistent. It's nothing crazy. And that's what My Hero's doing, where for the big moments, they get the crazy animation, but for the normal, like, episodes building up to those big moments, it's consistent. And that's what it's trying to do. But because of that, I don't expect crazy animation from My Hero anymore. Like the last time we got that was like, honestly, probably like season 4 for me. And this season, it's hard to remember what the big animation moments were because like it didn't really stand out to me like it did for season 2 or 4 or even 3. I know for 5, well, not 5, for 4, like there was a lot. But for this, I don't know, it didn't stick out to me that much in terms of animation. But I'm not here to drag on it because from the title you can probably tell that I have a positive opinion on this season, but it's not because of the animation. The animation's consistent, like it's inoffensive. That's what I'm trying to get at. The story I'll get to in the spoiler section, but regardless, this season was definitely an 8 out of 10 for sure. This is a really good season. Probably my favorite season, honestly, in terms of story. Like my favorite season up to this point was season 4, and that was because of the first half and the last couple of episodes. Like season 4 was peak for me, and then you get season 6 with this amount of peak. Like it was crazy. It was genuinely crazy how much peak was in this season, and like I'm not gonna get into the specifics of it until I get to the spoiler section, but it's the way that it started. It was like, oh, okay, we're going into it. It's already beef. It's already beef, and then going into like the early teens episodes is when things were really getting crazy because major players started coming in, characters were pulling out all the stops, and it was just crazy. But then the end of that, like, first half of the season was amazing, genuinely crazy. I was not expecting that whatsoever. It was fire. And then the second half of the season delivered as well. Like some people were complaining because it's like, oh, it's not directly faithful to the manga because of the way it looks, but I didn't care. Like, I never read the manga, so I don't have a thing to go off of. But the second half of the season was fire. The ending was a little like lukewarm. It was alright. Some things disappointed me, some things didn't. But the second half of the season did not fail. It definitely brought this season to be my favorite season in the entire show. It is so fire. It's crazy too because this show has 6 seasons. Like all in the 20s except for the first season, which was like 12 episodes. But it's crazy how many episodes this show has now. It's on some Attack on Titan type stuff now. Probably even past it if I try to count it. But it's crazy. Overall though, like the story was fire, the characters were dope. Most of the characters, the ones that don't have a lot of story, same as always. They're consistently vague. Or not vague, but consistently not there, is what I'm trying to say. Like I can't explain it until I get into the specifics, but overall, great season. Really great season. Has I have a lot of high hopes for what's to come with this show, honestly, because it's been really good. It's been really, really good. So yeah, spoiler section commencing, spoiler free section over. So this season takes place directly after what happened in season 5, where the Villains Association and Shigaraki, all of them were joined together with whatever, the Doofenshmirtz looking guy, and the heroes now had to prepare to launch an assault against the now combined forces of these villains. And in the first half of the season was really just that, heroes versus villains on this one compound, just beef on site. Like this is a war basically. Like imagine like in Marvel with Civil War, bro. That's basically what's going on right now. It's crazy, and it was cool. It was really cool. Like obviously there's the moments where you have people that you don't care about. Like most of the high schoolers that were there were kind of mid, but then you have the real heroes getting into beef, bro, and then seeing like Mirko, seeing Endeavor, seeing Hawks, and Tokoyami, I think is his name. Seeing people like that, seeing like what's this dude's name? Shoto and oh my Bakugo, there you go, that's his name. Seeing Midoriya, all of them, seeing Best Genius, like literally, there was so many heroes that were awesome, bro. There was so many, and you have so many villains as well, like Shigaraki, the Blood Girl. You have Twice, who was really cool. Just most of Shigaraki's crew were really cool, and you have Dabi as well. It's just like that was mostly in the second half as well. The first half of that invasion was just like all heroes trying to do their best to stop Shigaraki from awakening, but they couldn't. They couldn't because they were too late. And then it was just the second half was Shigaraki versus everybody, and it was literally like everybody, and it was awesome. It was genuinely so cool because Shigaraki is cracked. They gave him the craziest power boost of all time. Like that man went from like, oh, I'm on like season 4 Midoriya time right now to I am the strongest person in this show besides like All for One. But you also have Giganto Machia, who was a threat and has always been a threat. The man is insane, and it's crazy how they showed him in season 5 and how strong he was, and then showing him in season 6 and how like potentially strong he really can be, and just he's insane. Like he's genuinely insane. It's awesome. But the first half of this season was just beef, and it was awesome, bro. Genuinely awesome, and a lot of reveals too, like Dabi being Endeavor's son, which wasn't a surprise if you were watching and paying close attention. But it was a cool reveal to finally get out the way, like because they did it with flair. They really did it with flair. Dobby was revealing himself and all this to the world like it was an orchestra, like it was Mozart, bro. It was awesome. It was such a cool reveal the way they did it. It was like even if you knew, it genuinely dropped your jaw to the floor, bro. It was awesome. Really awesome. They have Shigaraki versus what was his dude's name? Midoriya. Super cool fight. Like literally everybody's just trying their hardest to stop Shigaraki, pulling out all the stops. You have Gran Torino there as well. You have the mountain lady with the blonde hair trying to stop Giganto Machia. You have heroes that died as well. I forgot to mention that a lot of heroes died and got injured and are out of commission. Like some of them retired because of this. Some of them quit because of this. But one thing's for sure, like after this event, because Shigaraki won basically, because All for One is basically being revived now. He's well, not revived, but being brought out of jail now because of this. The hero's giant ivory tower that they were standing on for a long time has been toppled, and now humanity's trust in heroes is wavering because this is Japan, by the way. Like this isn't just the well, it is the world globally, but it's just Japan right now. But it does send message when this could happen in a country like Japan, when heroes are super popular. But one thing that do get to see is that it's not just Japan that has the hero organization. You have people like, or countries like the U.S. and just all around the world, period, that have country, or excuse me, heroes all around, and it's a global thing, which is really cool because we get to see a hero, like at the end of the season, Stars and Stripes. I think the most American hero you can really think of, but it makes sense because All Might's basically that, but for Japan, it's like, oh shoot, okay, that's cool. But one thing that we got to see, like, she's just as buff as All Might, bro. Shout out to all the muscle women out there, because she's huge, like she's genuinely huge. It was fire. But regardless, I'm getting mad at myself. Shigaraki wins. After that, he goes to to Tartarus. I think that's the name of the prison, to break out all the villains, and all of them are just out now. Every single one that they've been working so hard to lock up, and like honestly, the show entirely are out. It's just super cool because uh, we get to see heroes who conflict with with what's going on, and we get to see villains who conflict with what's going on. It's just like there's so many players that play right now. It's like, oh man, things are getting wild. Things are building and building and building. Like the people are at their lowest points right now for sure. You can tell by the way the art style changed, how it became night all the time, how Midoriya started acting, basically becoming Venom Suit Spider-Man, where he's just going around being a vigilante, stopping bad guys and saving people. Not like he works with Hawks, Endeavor, All Might, and Best Genius because they're the top heroes that are still in commission because Mirko was severely injured. She's out of commission for right now, and a lot of top people quit as well. So it's just like, oh shoot, all right, we're getting thinner, we're getting thinner and thinner, and then again, people's trust in heroes started waning. So they have to call on people to help them, or not people, but like they have to call on heroes to help them. More heroes, bringing them together, no matter what their status is. And Midoriya is one of those people who goes from I'm just a high schooler to I have All Might's power. I might as well use it to help people. Obviously, like he's being held on a leash by the top heroes. Yo, why are you yelling? Oh my gosh! But it's super cool because Midoriya is basically showing that he's basically a hero. Like the man can be a hero, and it's super cool because it shows the growth in him from season one where he was crying all the time, trying his best not to break his bones, to season six where he's taking out the muscle guy from season three and beating him in like no time flat. The man cooked him. While in season three, he was getting worked by him and barely strung out a win with a Detroit smash. Like it's so fire. It's so cool seeing the progress. But yeah, basically the second half of the season was a little more tame because it's just people trying to come together to reunite and just reunite under this the heroes organization again because the villains are running rampant, and Midoriya's trying his best to take care of them, but people are afraid. People are afraid of him because he has All Might's power because that was revealed as well, and just overall because of Endeavor. Endeavor being revealed to be Dabi's son, or excuse me, father, really broke the trust that people had in him because he was the number one hero. But now he's just people can't trust him anymore because he made Dabi. He basically made Dabi into the person that he is while he was still on his villain stuff earlier in the show. But it's it shows the growth in Endeavor as well because they've been trying their hardest to change uh, the perception of him, where he was like, oh, he's just a villain who wants to be number one, but he doesn't have the traits like All Might did. But now he really does, and he's trying his best to change. But you know, people need to accept him for who he is first. He's a man on the path of redemption. But yeah, the season basically ends with Midoriya coming back to UA because he actually left it, and All Might and him reconciling because they had a little falling out where All Might tried to take care of him, but Midoriya was just like, I'm sorry, but I have to keep going. And the man looked hollowed. His friends were able to bring him back. Like all of his classmates had to beat him up to bring him back. And then they had to do like this crazy speech for them to accept him. into UA. Like the principal accepted him. It's just that UA is now a refugee center, so it's it's packed. But they Uraraka uh, does a crazy speech and just like who helps heroes when heroes need saving, you know, and it's the people. And they accept them back with open arms because a lot of people who Midoriya saved during his Venom suit rampage as a vigilante are in there in that refugee camp and they're vouching for him and it's like, oh, this is so cool. But now Midoriya is back in UA. They clean him up, they get him ready to go back out there, and they're all gonna face it together. And that's basically the end of it. It's like, oh shoot, all right, season 6 is done. 25 episodes, very, very crazy, very impactful, very succinct. It was just like, season 7 is gonna be crazy. I wonder if it's gonna be the final one. I wonder if season 7 is gonna be the final season of this show, and just if the manga's, I think the manga is close to being done, because like it was going on for a while. But if not, season 8 will probably be the end of it because this show's been going on for a while. It's been going on since 2016, and honestly, if they finish, it'll probably be like during the 10-year period because it's getting close. We're getting really close. We're in 2023. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we hit that mark or pass it when we finish the show. But overall, this season was definitely an 8 out of 10. Like, I the beginning was so strong that there was no way that I wasn't gonna rate this season like at least like above a 6, because the the beginning was just too good, genuinely too good. The second half kind of slowed down a little bit, but I still enjoyed it because of how we got to see Midoriya just transform from I'm a happy-go-lucky guy to I'm a vigilante on some Batman stuff, bro. And it was awesome. It was generally so cool seeing him like that because we never get to see people like that. We never get to see that transformation. And it's not like it lasted forever because it only lasted like 7 episodes around there. But it was awesome. It was genuinely so cool. I've said that so many times in this episode. I'm running out of so cools and awesomes to give to this show. But it was a nice change of pace for his character. And then seeing but Bakugo, I actually didn't talk about him a lot, but Bakugo, his character changed a lot. Like he had the character development for sure. And I used to hate Bakugo. I thought he was so annoying, bro. I like irredeemably unlikable. But then they changed him, you know. And now he's a better guy, trying to call Midoriya Izuku now, trying his best. You know, he's still his rival, but he's trying to take care of his rival as well. Like that bond is there. There's genuine friendship there. It's on some Endeavor and All Might stuff right now, and it's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to see because seeing Bakugo change of all people, shoot man, it's it brings a tear to a man's eye. But yeah, overall, this season's an 8 out of 10. I was gonna rate it higher, but I was like, nah. Thinking about it, the second half of the season wasn't as good as the first half, so I'm gonna give it an 8. I'm gonna give it an 8, like a 7.5 to an 8. Yeah. But anyways, that's it for me for now. My Hero season 6. It's the end of that. You know, we've come to the end of the road. Next, I'm gonna talk about some other shows that I've been watching because they are ending soon. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope y'all enjoy, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.